Oh yes, it is Nick Shell, and this is a very special episode. Here's why. For Christmas, part of my gift is that my brother-in-law Andrew has agreed to be in a video about hair loss for my channel. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at my own system to predict hair loss. I'm looking at my own blog right here, 5 ways to predict if you will go bald and 5 ways to deal with it if you do. The Nick Shell system, and that's on familyfriendlydaddyblog.com. I'm going by my own blog post here. We're going to test this out on my brother-in-law in an effort to predict whether he'll be like me, the guy who's already in Norwood 3 before age 35 and that will gradually be going bald the rest of his life, or if he's the kind of guy that's just going to get to keep most of his hair most of his life. We're going to test my theory on someone other than myself. Here we go. So we're looking at number 1 on my blog post. The first one is this. Check for signs of balding or thinning. Norwood 3 or beyond, or any thinning. So let's take a look. Now I'm going to let you all be the judge, but if I were to be forced to judge a Norwood skin, now definitely I've seen 0 thinning, absolutely. Nothing there. I would almost say at the very worst, 1.5 at the very worst, because look at the camera straight. I'm seeing a flat, straight across line here. And it's only on the temples do I see anything there, but that's me being picky. To me, that's Norwood 1.5 at worst, is what I'm saying, because it's so flat across and there's no thinning. So right there, looking at the first sign, we've got no thinning. We don't have even a receding hairline at this point. So that's 1 point in favor of my brother-in-law not being like me and going to be balding the rest of his life. Okay, number 2, use a photo of yourself at age 1 to see a prediction of what your hairline will look like at age 35. We don't have one readily available, but tell me about what you look like in your photos as a kid.
Yeah, I was born with a full head of hair. I was told I had a chili bowl at 4 months and had to get a haircut, and it was just a lot of hair. I've always had really thick hair my whole life. I always have to get it thinned when I go get haircuts, but I do remember just having a thick, dark head of hair when I was 1.
Okay, so clearly if we looked at a photo, you'd have a lot of hair. So that is another point in favor of you not being like me and going to be losing your hair the rest of your life. Number 3, and by the way, on my blog, all this is documented, and I even have a video about that myself where I actually show everybody a photo of how my hairline at age 1 matches it at age 35, a year ago when I was 35. Okay, number 3, according to my system, determine whether or not you could grow a full beard by the time you were 18. So before your 18th birthday, were you growing a full beard like I was, where it was connected and thick enough to where if you shaved one morning, 24 hours later, you had stubble that looked like this? At what point in your life was that the case for you?
Yeah, it was definitely happening in high school. I had the stubble. There may have still been a little bit of patchiness in the top parts here, but it was connected all the way around. I didn't grow a full beard. I didn't have a beard in high school, but I could grow one. I did the summer after, but I didn't do it during high school.
So whereas we're already leaning towards you're the guy who's not going to lose your hair, this would be a strike against my system. And I'm very open, I'm very vocal about how there are definitely exceptions to the rule on this. I say my theories are 80% accurate. This would be something that goes against the other parts of the theory, because we've got a guy who could grow a full beard before he was 18, whereas that's supposed to be a sign that you're going to go bald sooner. So out of the 3 things so far, 2 are in favor of keeping hair, 1 is in favor against it, or not in favor against it, doesn't make sense. Number 4 on my theory system is consider how close to the age of 35 you currently are. So how old are you?
33 in September. I was 33 in September, so
you're recently 33.
Less than 2 years.
And this is interesting because, in case you're not familiar with my theories, you look at age 35 as a projection of it's cut and dry. If you're Norwood 3 with thinning before at your 35th birthday, you're going to be balding the rest of your life to some degree. Maybe quick, maybe slow, but you're going to. But he's only about 2 years away from that point. Unless he were to just experience major thinning or major receding in the next 2 years, he's going to be safe. He's still going to probably be, at worst, Norwood 1.5. But even if he got as bad as Norwood 2, it still wouldn't matter, because if you're Norwood 2 by 35, you're safe. So, point number 4, here's another one in favor of you not going bald. And then lastly, on my 5 things, accept that your race and ethnicity increases or decreases your chance of balding. So the more Asian you are, the less likely you are to lose your hair. So, and that even counts Native American Indian because they're descendants of Asians. We haven't taken a DNA test yet for you.
I haven't done one, right.
But based on your last name, your mom's Irish.
Yeah, Irish, English, Scottish is always what we've been told. My mom's actually got DNA test results, hopefully coming back in the next few weeks, and we will know a little more for sure. But that's just what we've all been told, that European area.
So there's nothing more exotic than that. I mean, there's not like Middle Eastern, there's not Jewish, there's not Native American even that's ever been discussed.
Not really. Maybe on my dad's side a little bit, but yeah.
So this is interesting because this is something that arguably goes against my theory. We've got someone who apparently, from everything we know so far, is 100% Northwestern European, meaning British and, I don't know, maybe German, we could be, but still it's that same concept that the more white you are, the more likely you are to go bald and have a beard. So let me kind of backtrack a little bit though on the thing about growing the beard. Because I also theorize that obviously if you can grow a beard that young, before you're 18, that you're also just a hairier guy in general. Because I'm definitely, undeniably, a hairy guy. I'm not as bad as Robin Williams, but I just am. So that's interesting. So, you know, you've got something going against my theory, which is fine. Again, I'm very vocal that 80% of it is true and 20% are the exception to the rules. So you have more body hair, you can grow a beard easily, but yet all of the signs point to you not losing your hair. So that's interesting. And but then the other thing is that you're not Asian at all, European, which is usually the thing against it. Lastly, this is more of a bonus, but people have been asking about the gray hair theory. I've been very clear that no one tends to see any gray hair in me, and I don't dye my hair. I'll pluck a few every once in a while, but it's not an issue. Have you struggled with that at all? Have you dealt with gray hair? I mean, I've got some in my beard, but other than that, not my hair.
I think even in high school, maybe the last year, I had a few that had just like you could count them 2 or 3. Wow. But in my 20s, I got quite a bit, and since we've had kids, I think I've had a lot more sprout up. But I have a streak on the beard here that has a lot of gray in it, and then I have the sides that have a lot of gray coming in.
Yeah.
So I think I would have more likely a chance to go full gray before I would bald.
Oh yeah, totally. So let's close this video by wrapping up and reviewing what we've learned so far. Out of the 5 things, and that's really how I designed the theory. I want you to look at these 5, maybe 6 things and think which of these are in favor, which are against of me going bald. When we look at my brother-in-law, most of them point to he's not going to lose his hair. I think anyone watching this video who's familiar with my system knows that this is a guy who doesn't have that to worry about. He may end up, like you said, you could be mostly gray by the time you're 40, but you're not going to be the guy who's anyone's going to think, oh yeah, he's starting to lose his hair. You're not going to be that guy. So the things that were against my thing is that apparently you're 100% European and you could grow a full beard by 18. But the fact that you're age 33, you don't really have any signs of hair loss at all, thinning, or you're not even Norwood 2, and you're almost 35. This is a candidate for someone who backs up my theory, overall has more points in it, pointing to that he's not going to go bald. And that's how I designed the theory. I want you to keep that in mind. Don't take out one part of my theory and think, oh, I'm going to go bald or not based on that one thing. Look at all of them, and overall, whatever points to the most, and Ariev, my brother-in-law, has proven that my theories are valid. Thank you for participating in this. And as a bonus, if you enjoyed my brother-in-law in this video, I've got a special bonus, an unlockable video, or 2 or 3 or 4 unlockable videos. On my channel, go to the search box, type in Jack Man, but put a hyphen, a dash, Jack Man. Google that. Not Google it, just search it on my channel. When you do that, about 3 or 4 of those episodes, he is a special guest where I think you play a villain in all of them, don't you?
I think so.
One, you're the juggler, I know, for example. But those are unlockable videos that you can find on this channel if you are so inclined. If you applaud my brother-in-law so much for being in these videos and like him that much, unlock those videos.